And now we can continue that conversation for everyone to listen in on.
Yeah, like I rewatched like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings just
Mm.
because it's been a fat hot minute since I've seen both of those. Uh,
I've been watching. I just finished the first season of Titans.
is that the gritty teen? Is that the R-rated one?
Yeah, yeah. Where like Dick Grayson pops in like the first time you see him as Robin. He comes and busts up this thing, and like all these guys are freaking out because he pops in, and everybody's freaking out because like, oh fuck, he's here. That means Batman's coming. And so they're all freaking out, and he proceeds to kick their ass. And the last thing he says is the last guy falls is fuck Batman. And that kind of sets the whole tone for the thing. uh I'm enjoying it. Like I wasn't sure I was going to,
Yeah.
and i'm I'm finding myself actually enjoying it. It's a gritty teen superhero drama. Like the fight choreography is pretty good, and the the casting is pretty good.
Yeah, my parents were watching it at Christmas, but I was like doing something else. So I was just catching like little 5-minute segments, and all I heard was like people dropping the F bomb constantly. And I was like, what are you guys doing in here?
Yep.
Maybe I'll watch it.
It's not bad. I've only seen the first season. First season's 11 episodes, second season's 13, and that's all there are so far. Like they give us a good reason not to show Batman at this point.
As soon as you show Batman, then the show has to be about Batman.
Right. Uh it's still about Batman because Dick Grayson's in it, but it's about how yeah, Batman's kind of a shitty mentor. It's so like it doesn't pull a whole lot of punches when it comes to stuff like that, which I'm actually really liking. Yes, I'm looking around to see if there's anything Holden's been freaking out over this The Devil All the Time movie. He's super into Tom Holland though, so
He's the southern whatever,
I think
set in the South in like the 50s,
that sounds right.
30s.
Yeah. In a post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality. Let's see if we always see if the Netflix 2/3 rule holds.
Oh, is it Netflix?
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie.
I'll watch it.
All right, done deal. The Devil All the Time.
The Devil All the Time.
Oh, I clicked the thing to add it to my list, and turns out it was already there. What do you know?
The Devil All the Time. Full time.
Right.
It's 40 hours a week. You think he's making a $15 an hour minimum wage?
Oh man, I don't know. What was minimum wage in the 50s? Did they have minimum wage in the 50s?
What's the minimum wage now? It's probably pretty close.
I don't know what it is nationwide. I know in Illinois it's $11 an hour.
Is it really? I think in Missouri it's 7.
That might be right. Yeah, Illinois has been bumping it up. They I don't remember when, but we have legislation that is on track to, within a couple of years, it will be $15 an hour. Like
Hmm.
it's a slow rise.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think it goes up $1 a year at this point.
Hmm. Well, so here's what you need. Here's why Illinois is this corrupt wasteland. Okay? So in Missouri, what happens is we vote on stuff, and then our GOP legislature just overturns the votes and
Yeah,
just doesn't do the thing.
yeah, yeah,
No, we voted on it, but like okay, but we made a mistake, so not for real this time, guys. Let's do over.
yep, yep.
Fucking come
So
on.
yeah, in 2019, it was signed into law in Illinois that in 2020 there were two increases. One on January 1st, it got it to $9.25 an hour. Then on July 1st, it went to $10 an hour. Then every January 1st until 2025, it goes up by $1. So on January 1st, it was 11. Yeah, because like Holden was out of work for a while because working at a restaurant.
Because of troubles.
Yeah. So like they didn't have anything for him to do. So they started calling him back into like paint tables and clean up in preparation as things get closer to opening.
Yeah.
Which they are now here. You can eat indoors now here, but
Really?
yeah, they've gone back to indoor dining. And we're like, yeah, you're making $11 an hour. He goes, what? Yeah, you got a raise the first of the year.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Fed minimum wage at this point is, though.
Well, I know what it's not.
Not 15.
7.25.
Wow.
Current federal minimum wage is 7.25 and has not changed since 2009.
Wow. Then again, when I started working, the minimum wage was $3.35 an hour.
I started working, it was $6.40.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. Made that $3.35 an hour. We're happy for it.
Mm-hmm.
But like you could load up on gas and do things with your friends. Like you could actually have money left over and put some in savings.
No, we don't do that anymore.
Nope, not even close.
Yeah, so our CFO came to our office and he was talking to like I want to call them the younger guys, and I want you to know how much I hate saying that, but like the younger guys about retirement and whatever. And they're like, well, you should find out how much Adam's putting away for his retirement. I'm like, yeah, I don't really plan on retiring, man. That's not what my generation's like doing. Like that's not the deal here. Like I don't plan on retiring. Like I'm not gonna reach a magical age where it's like, oh well, all my debts are just paid off and I can just not have to work anymore. Like that's not a reality for this generation. Like don't tell these kids that that's like that's not what they should expect.
We're towing that line right now because like we're finally over most of the humps of our massive debt and all that. Now, I mean, there will be more coming when Holden goes to school. Because that's a whole nother story. But yeah, like we're
Not cheap.
gonna try to make sure that he doesn't owe anyone else money. Let's put it that way. We're we've got some 401k money that we can take a loan out on that we will pay back, and which 401k loans are actually really nice because like
they are.
Like you pay them back with interest, but it's your money. Like you have to pay some service fees and stuff, but
Yeah.
shit, that's how we paid for that deck that we put on. We're still paying for it. We'll be paying for it for a little while.
Sure.
But it's our money, so
Yeah.
okay, whatever. But yeah, we're 26 months from the house being paid off, something like that.
Holy shit, Tony.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a big fucking deal.
You're telling me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're staring down that, and that's like to the point where we have money in savings and we have what's left on the house. And I could just literally just transfer the money into from our savings account at the bank and just pay off the house. Like we're at that point now, and it's just like, oh man, that feels so good. Like I'm so tempted to do that. And Julie's like, no, don't you dare. We need that security. We need that security. I know, but
yeah,
man, it's so tempting.
Yeah, I bought my house in August, so that's not quite a reality for me.
No, you got a couple of years on that.
Yeah. Haven't made it a year yet.
Oh, the big news today, though, from out of the governor of Illinois, Tier 1B.
Really?
February 25th. As long as they can get the vaccines in. Yeah, living that comorbidity life. Boom.
You work in IT, too.
Yeah. Actually, that is not for Illinois.
Not for Illinois.
Not for Illinois, yeah. Oh, but I'm signing up for everything in Missouri, too, though. So,
yeah.
Since I work in Missouri, I can sign up everywhere, which is great. I did. There was a list of them that one of the news stations around here posted couple of days ago, and I signed up for every hospital around.
I read an article today that said St. Louis City has had really low distribution rates of the vaccine,
right?
And the rest of the state has like per capita, pretty reasonable distribution rates. And the article was talking about how St. Louis, Columbia, and Kansas City are the only like blue cities in the state.
Yep.
This is an intentional slight by the governor not to distribute vaccines to those areas. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
great.
I mean, there's that. And my understanding also is that some of those other areas, like you can travel to them and still get vaccinated there. I know somebody was saying that one of our coworkers at the Garden went to Sykeston to get vaccinated.
Yep.
Like there was some news article that was it somewhere I think somewhere in New York City, one of their big stadiums, like 7,000 appointments went unused yesterday. Yeah. There was some miscommunication about it because like I guess a communication went out that it was only going to be for second doses, and these were 7,000 first dose appointments that were made. People just didn't show up to them, I guess because they heard that they weren't going to be honoring. I'm like, man,
oh god.
I turned around to Julie and Holden, I'm like, if those would be available, road trip, like, and I'm not even joking, I've got vacation time. I'm willing to make that trip twice. Let's do it.
I love driving.
I know. Yeah, join us, all four of us.
Pile on in.
Shuffle off Aaron with my folks, and I think they've got their appointment scheduled for tomorrow morning. My parents do.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah.
Wait, why shuffle off Aaron?
Because she can't get it yet.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. She's not old enough. The vaccines haven't been tested for under 18, 16, something like that.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. The vaccines aren't. They won't vaccinate at this point. They won't vaccinate anyone under 18, I believe, because the vaccines haven't been tested yet. Yeah, there's all kinds of there was some weird articles coming out about infertility and stuff like that in young people, but
Yeah.
they were like the information was really shady. But it was just enough that Julie was also really freaked out about it. So,
Yeah.
like, all right. I mean, there's going to be a ton more studies done before Aaron could even possibly take it. So that's fine. We'll wait. Not a big deal.
Yeah. If everybody else gets it, it's less critical.
Right. Exactly.
Get to that herd immunity percentage, then.
Yeah. I'm just really happy that my grandmother has gotten her shot. She got hers on Monday, and my folks are getting it tomorrow. Like that. That's really good.
That's a relief. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
As soon as I can get some of that sweet, sweet vaccine juice in my arm, I'll be peachy keen.
Yep. Sooner the better.
Yep.
Hate being trapped in this prison, even though once I get the vaccine, that's not really going to change for another 6 months. But
yeah, it'll be a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be, at least I'll be less worried about going out when I have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think like small dinners might become a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, less concerned about going to someone else's houses if everybody else has like already been vaccinated.
Yep.
Like I don't particularly care if I get it. I just don't want to give it to anybody. Like that's just
that's my biggest concern too.
So, in all of my interactions with people, I am the least plague, except for Sarah. I'm a bigger plague vector to Sarah than she is to me. But in every other interaction I have, I'm the least plague vector, which is, I guess, important to me.
That's good. That's good. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yeah, let's talk about this goddamn movie.
Hey, this is Tony.
This is David.
We're the Backseat Producers.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So tonight we're talking about The Good Liar.
Tony, I did not feel like the title of this movie was accurate.
They were both liars.
Everybody in this movie was a liar.
Everybody in this movie was a liar. Yeah. Except for the dude. Well, I guess he was a liar too. He was just, he was trying to get one over.
Trying to slip one in. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Everyone in this goddamn, and especially when you know, like a conversation starts out with, "What I hate most is lies." Like that's just the first indication that this person is definitely lying to you. Like immediately.
I did like that we knew right from the jump that Ian McKellen was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no doubt. There was never any doubt about him being a liar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the subtle play of Helen Mirren, that slow reveal was kind of nice. I did like that.
Yeah, that slow reveal that went from 0 to 100 pretty quick.
Well,
there's actually like 2 sections of this movie where, like, I don't know, the movie had a pretty consistent pace, and then like they like peeled out at an intersection for a bit and then slammed on the brakes and we went back to 25.
Yeah. So what did you think of the movie in general, aside from the title not being accurate?
So I enjoyed the movie. Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren are like really good actors, like, and
yes,
they were very good in their roles. So I enjoyed watching, like two great actors practicing their craft in a like this. The story is good, but like from the get, I guess I've seen too many heists. Anyway, I liked it. We get back. We get to that.
No, yeah, I feel like we're gonna have a lot of the same comments about that. I really like the movie, which is why I suggested we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it again, just because I kind of wanted to be reminded of some of it. The problem was I did forget chunks of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can see now why I did, because they weren't the meaningful parts. Like I remembered the twist the turn, the resolution. I remembered all that. There was parts of it I didn't remember, but they weren't as important.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm gonna echo your comments completely. Just watching those two master craftsmen just
Have at it.
do their thing. Yeah, it's like watching a really good artist. It's it's just, you sit back and appreciate what they're doing because they're just great at what they're doing.
Yep. And not only so, I don't know how we talk about this without spoiling this movie. Just like it just
Yeah.
It has to happen. Like,
does that mean I get to use my? Where is it?
oh no.
Oh, we're in the spoiler zone.
Oh Jesus. Wowza.
Sorry, that was just spoiler zone. All right. Yeah, we're spoiling the movie now.
Mm-hmm. So, it's also really great. So I expected the double grift.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just because I've seen too many goddamn grift movies at this point. Like the grift slash heist genre now is like this minefield of expectation, or like you can't go into it. Like if you know it's either of those two movies, you spend the entire movie just trying to like outthink yourself, and you like lose the thread of the actual plot of the movie. So like the surprises aren't surprises anymore. They're just frustrations. Like you either missed something, or like in the case of this movie, there's just information you didn't have. So when the reveal happens, you're like, it's unsatisfying because you couldn't suss it out.
There's a point in this movie that feels a lot like the resolution to The Usual Suspects, where something's coming.
Mm-hmm.
There is a thing, but there's nowhere near enough information for you to be able to suss it out. Like there's no looking for the hints, because there are hints, but they really don't give them until very, very late in the movie, like within a minute or two before the reveal. Well, it's a little bit more than that, because
the problem is Helen Mirren's really good at the gig, and the dude playing her grandson is not.
Right.
And so like you kind of just assume that he's just suspicious of this old man trying to grift his grandma, when in fact he's just suspicious of this old man trying to grift his grandma-in-law.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like, like the way he telegraphs the things are the things that he would do just in general.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't have to stretch.
Yeah.
For his performance in the grift, in the heist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like they put there's little consistencies in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I appreciate the little details. Like they catch him on the German thing, and then he just kind of plays it off. But it's like once they're looking for it, like anyway, it was really good the way they played the whole thing.
I like how when he trips up, it's not like they get suspicious. Like they get more comfortable when he slips up. Like we're on the right track. We're our plan is playing out. Like we don't know what the plan is, but the plan is playing out.
Yeah. I
liked that when he slips up and speaks German, or he responds to the German being spoken, there's not this further delusion of the audience. Like if you're paying attention to what's going on, you see that he slipped up. They understand that he slipped up and they're letting it go. Yeah. They're not doubling down on it. They're not calling him on it. They knew he was going to do something like that. They were expecting it.
Yeah.
and we see that they expect it. So it's not like we're being confused any further at that point. We don't know what's going on exactly, but we know that they're in on something.
Yeah. The first German apartment sequence, like the first flashback sequence, I was a little worried because I thought they were. This is what this is what they did to me twice. Twice, I was like, okay, well, this is like. I mean, he's clearly a goddamn Nazi.
Right. Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna do this whole Nazi situation, and then he's like, "Oh, you guys thought you caught you a Nazi, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, Ian McKellen, I did think we caught us a Nazi."
As it turns out.
Then we got that really long, awkward explanation there. And I was like, This is one of the frustrating things about this genre and this story, in that there's like no way cinematically to present any of the information in that flashback and still have it be a reveal. Right? Like, you can have him with the German stuff, but like you can't go much more into anything past that without that scene being like totally ruined.
Yes.
Right? Because like the tension of the scene is, okay, well, the grift is up, but then like he weaves this tale
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, well, the grift isn't up. This seems like a non-grift issue.
Right. And yeah, that's the whole problem. Like the problem with discussing the movie is there's two stories that are going through it. There's the main story with him and her, and then there's the B story that he's got going on, his job, his day job of being a grifter, and setting those guys up. Like
the normal grifting.
Yeah, that was his normal grifting. This is his side.
Yeah.
Griffle.
My day grifting.
Yeah. Yeah, it literally is. Like it's all pretty much done during the day. Until that scene with the train, which that caught me by surprise. I did not exactly expect it to go down that way.
No, I did not expect it to resolve with that guy's head in the train.
Yeah.
That was a bit intense. Okay, so the movie opens. The movie opens with the date. They go on the date. He leaves the date. He's like, I'm going to go to the train station. Okay. So they drive out of frame, and he's like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to the train station. Go to a fucking strip club. And I was like, fucking Ian McKellen. God damn. This is exactly what I expect from you. That was before I knew anything else about the movie. Other than they were clearly lying to each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so kicks that dude into the train. Then we get to the big grift situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where he does the situation with Helen Mirren and he takes her money.
Yes.
He leaves, predictably. She steals his money. Then he rolls back in for the reveal. All right, so the reveal was like peeling out at the intersection.
Yeah. Yeah, they hit us with the reveal that she's not who she says he is, or she says she is.
Yep.
Also, she knows he's lying. Every time he lies, he loses $50,000 more of his own $50,000 more of his own money.
Mm-hmm.
They set up the shared account. She pulls her money. She starts yanking money out of his account. Um, she lets in on him that, here's who I am. And like, she even makes a point of saying, look, not everything's gone. The flowers are there, the lilies. And like, I knew what the lilies represented after because I've seen the movie before. So the second time watching through, I watched that sequence where he says, "Oh, flowers, that's too many letters." And she says, "Lilies. What kind of flowers are they?" Lilies. And he says that, and he gets this look on his face for just a second of like, "Oh, lilies." Like, and it's just, he doesn't say anything. It's just this look he has on his face, and it's gone almost immediately.
Yeah.
But like, at that point, I knew that he knew. Well, it wasn't, I don't think that he knew there was something up. It was just like, every time he's confronted with lilies, like, there was a moment. He had a moment of memory, a flash or something.
Yeah.
And that was really well played.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a small moment, and the lilies, like the photo of the lilies, don't mean anything else to this point. So it's not like you could even get anything out of that.
Yep.
Which is, I love unpeeling the mystery. I love a well-written mystery that I can peel apart and figure out the clues and be fooled by. And I love it if I'm fooled. I love it if I've figured it out. I enjoy the puzzle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the fact that these two were such good actors.
Yeah, actors playing actors acting.
Yeah. But I feel like if this movie was made by any lesser actors, I would have been really disappointed in this film.
Yeah. Also, you wouldn't have gotten like a septuagenarian wrestling match.
No. More unexpected violence.
They are both in their 70s, right?
I believe so. I think he might be in his 80s.
When did
Maybe.
this movie come out, though?
It came out a couple of years ago.
He's 81.
Okay, so he was definitely in his 70s.
Sure. Yeah, he was in his 70s then.
2019.
Yep, Helen Mirren. Whoa. How old is Helen Mirren? Helen Mirren is
45. Yep. 1945.
Yep. Good.
So smack dab in the middle of the 70s.
God damn.
I will watch her in anything. She's such a good actor.
Yeah, she's really good. She's really goddamn good. So is he. I mean, he is too.
Oh yeah, they're both fantastic.
Yeah. Just got like that old British quality to them.
Yeah. Well, like, they both of them separately have this quality of being able to portray real gravitas on the screen, but also, in their personal life, both of them are willing to toss back drinks and tell dirty jokes, and like, they just they don't have that air of aristocracy about them when they are Ian and Helen. Like, that's just not the people they are in their daily life, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. She a dame?
I believe she is a dame.
Is that what DBE is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Tony, when am I going to get knighted?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to have to work on that.
I know. That's 2021 goals, I think.
It'll probably happen when we get Duncan Jones to appear on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I had a moment there.
Yeah. Well, so I actually
Words
thought,
just escaped me there for a minute.
I mean, we're gonna have him on to consult about the Punch-Out movie. So
Of course, why wouldn't we?
I think once we unleash that masterpiece,
you have a professional filmmaker who has made a video game movie. So I mean, the cred is there. He's got that going for him.
He is, as far as I know, the only filmmaker who has brought Stormwind to life. So. I spent a lot of time in Stormwind, Tony.
Yeah, I know. I spent a little time there.
Oh, that's where the auction house is.
Yeah. Yep.
Gotta sell my Blizzard Dogecoin. What else happened in this movie that I enjoyed? It is generally frustrating, though, that like her entire backstory for the counter grift is just like nothing that. I don't like the puzzle aspect where I can't like solve the problem, right? Like that feels unsatisfying, but I know that's a personal thing and not a failing of the story.
No, I completely agree with you. That's a problem that I have with it also. But it is my problem of expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, I think I've actually done myself a disservice. So, like Dan Harmon did when he did the Community episode on grifting. So I don't know what it is about Dan Harmon and his ability to deconstruct like those genre type movies or whatever, but like he did grifting on Community, and then Rick and Morty did heist movies, and like his deconstruction of them is so good that now when I watch either of those genre of movie, I can't separate watching the movie from having watched his critique of the genre, and it's just incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I watched Ocean's 8 the other day, and I was like, fuck, man, everything Rick and Morty said about heist movies is 100% accurate. It just...
I have not watched any Rick and Morty.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's really
haven't watched any of it yet.
The sci-fi is... It's Dan Harmon. Like, everything he does is really good. Like, really good.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. I just haven't. There, I have no opposition to it. It just hasn't made its way up to the top of the queue yet.
Yeah, I fought it for a long goddamn time because Rick burp talks and it drives me fucking crazy, and I hate it so much. But then I got over it, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is really good. It's just really cleverly put together.
I was just looking to see if there was any interesting trivia on the movie within IMDb, and there's really not a whole lot of interesting trivia. It's mostly about people. It's almost all about people who worked together. These people worked on this other thing together at some point. The only one that I find remotely interesting is the fact that this is the first movie that Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen are in together, but they were also in a play together before this. Something called Dance of Death. I have no idea what that's about. But this is their first film that they were in together.
The trivia item below may give away important plot points. Ian McKellen previously played a Nazi in hiding an apt pupil. Is that an important plot point that gives a little, like...
It's interesting that they give that plot point because...
Not a Nazi?
Ostensibly
he's not a Nazi.
Well, he's not. He's not. But what's interesting, though, is that like if you see that spoiler first, and then you see the movie, and they get to that scene where like it's the first flashback to Germany, you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, here's where we find out he's the Nazi,
Yeah.
and he's not.
Yep.
It's almost like a little bit of guerrilla marketing within IMDb.
After Pupil was not good, by the way. Just so we're
It
clear.
didn't look great. That one's based on a Stephen King short, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
They have. It's from different seasons. The book with 4 stories in it.
Right.
So they've made 3 adaptations of the stories. All the stories correspond to a season, right? So Shawshank Redemption is actually Hope Springs Eternal. Apt Pupil is Summer, and that's Summer of Corruption, I think. And then The Body is Stand By Me.
Yep.
It's Fall from Innocence.
Two of those 3 are really great.
2 of those 3 are really great. I wish they would make the 4th one, A Winter's Tale. It's a story about stories. It's actually really good. I have no idea how they'd make it into a movie, though. It's just, it is the tale, not he who tells it. Oh. I like a lot of Stephen King's work. A lot of Stephen King's work.
I tried. It's not for me. Most of it's just not for me. I did enjoy his some of his sci-fi work, some of his earlier sci-fi work that they made into movies. That stuff's pretty good.
Lawnmower Man.
Not so much Lawnmower Man. That one's okay. No, Firestarter and Dead Zone.
Dead Zone was good.
I really like that. I like both the book and the movie of both of those.
I don't think I've seen the movie of Dead Zone. I don't know. You watch 1 or 2 of those old Stephen King movies, and you're like, ugh.
That one's pretty good. That one's Christopher Walken. Yeah, he plays the lead in that. It's actually he works it pretty well because he's so weird.
He's very weird, and the book is weird.
Yeah,
a lot of his books are really weird.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, all I remember is when I was reading a shit ton of fantasy in the late 80s and early 90s, and like the late 80s. That's when I was in high school. I read a shit ton of fantasy novels when I was in high school, because the old sci-fi just hadn't appealed to me yet. Like I've gotten into more of it since, but for whatever reason in high school, the old sci-fi just wasn't doing it for me. I did have my physics teacher in high school, like within the first week or so of school, came into class with a box and started handing out novels. And part of our physics work for the year was he gave us all a copy of Rendezvous with Rama, the Arthur Clarke novel. And it's like, we're going to be discussing this in class. It's like, wait, this is physics class. Yep. He was a physicist. He was also an engineer. He created satellite technology. You will read things in this, and you will, because of what we learned this year, you will understand how the things he explains in this book work. And like one of the projects we had was we calculated the rotational speed of Rama based on the gravity that it was showing. Like, this guy was cool. He was a really cool teacher. We were his first year as a high school teacher. So like, yeah. And he just and what's funny is, like, if Holden would have been like 2 years older, I think he could have run into him in high school. Yeah. Yeah. It was like, I was his first year and he retired
right before Holden.
Just before Holden got there.
You ever read Amaro?
Amaro, I have not.
An old sword and sorcery novel written by Charles R. Saunders. last year for Black History Month, I did this thing where I would only read Black authors.
Oh, cool.
And since I typically read, like, listen to audiobooks for pleasure, and I read, like, before I go to bed, I make myself read like 20 minutes every night of like nonfiction, like usually like books on economics or like some other like thing that is tangentially related to my general interest in how business and shit works,
Sure.
um, or technology or any of that kind of shit. So I started reading Amaro last year, just because like a lot of the fantasy and stuff that I read is all written by generic white dudes in America, right? So a couple years ago, I read The Three Body Problem by Shishin Liu.
It's it's in my queue. I've purchased it. I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah. So here's what really stood out to me about the book. Obviously, no spoilers. But like the perspective is from someone who grew up in communist China,
Mm-hmm.
and that like the story is so divergently different from any story you'll read from like white dudes that like it feels so alien.
Huh. All right.
Just like the culture of it feels so utterly alien. Uh Even though the plot is like not alien at all, but the backdrop culturally and the way that like the characters respond to stuff, and it's like it's all internally culturally consistent. It just feels like a fantasy novel, even though it is very hard sci-fi. It's very good. I loved it. Imaro was a lot less good, but there are a lot of like themes in it that just don't interest me, just in general.
Yeah, I just got done reading The Left Hand of Darkness by
Mm-hmm.
Ursula K. Le Guin. It's the first time I had read it, and I had a very similar experience culturally with that book. I I cannot imagine reading this book as a white teenage male in the 80s. Like if I would have picked this book up when it came out, like I would have been just like, boy, this is some crazy utopian gender stuff. Like, you know, like the words we had for it then, like the mainstream words we had for it now are considered offensive for what this would be. Like they just are. Like the mainstream usage for talking about somebody who was transsexual.
Mm-hmm.
We do, for one thing, we didn't use the word transsexual. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that was not the word you used. um, but and because the culture of the book and like the things they talk about with gender fluidity and like in this, they specifically are able to manipulate the functional organs of the human body through hormones. So like they are truly, like their physical body is gender fluid. So like you go into a relationship and the relationship, just through the nature of the relationship and the drugs coursing through your body and your hormones, decide whether you are going to be the one to bear the child or not. Like you have a physical body that presents as, more masculine. And like that was the way that they described it, that she described it in the book, was that, that there were men that were more feminine, and there were, and or they were more masculine, but it was dependent both on who they were as a person, the status of their hormonal change through that, but also, while they may be a mother to an offspring and a woman through the course of that, then they just go, then they can just go back to being a man afterwards, but probably different.
Yeah.
It was just, it was so interesting and alien, and like I cannot imagine like I can't imagine myself at the time reading it and like getting anything good out of it. Like it would have been like, this is really weird. Like I don't understand what's happening.
Mhm.
Like now I feel I'm a lot more comfortable with that idea as a culture. It's still very alien to what we like, to anything we have now, but it's just interesting reading more fiction by more diverse people.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way that like Jemison stuff feels so different to like most trad fantasy authors that I read. It's like, oh shit, this is like this is not Middle Earth.
No, no, it's not.
This is not
It's
Middle
not.
Earth. Jemison is also great. Her
Yeah,
work is fantastic.
yeah.
Uh, so you know what? I read this and it fucking blew my mind. All right. So did you watch Altered Carbon? The
Yes,
Okay. Did
sure
you watch
did.
both seasons?
I did not watch the second season.
Okay. Second season, I don't think it's as good as the first season. The first season
That's what I
follows.
heard, so I didn't rush to it, and then it's just never like it's another one. It's in my Netflix queue.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, so like the second book is really fucking good, but it doesn't have what's her face in it, Falcon Crest. So they like
Oh,
try and merge the second book and the third book together and like do a bad job of it just in general.
so I have the first book of Altered Carbon in my Audible queue. I just haven't read it yet. Uh, I I had a couple of books that I paid like a buck or two for that are
Mhm.
like 50 hours long. Well, it was like all the works of Sherlock Holmes,
Oh yeah.
all the complete Mark Twain novels,
Mhm.
the complete works of I'm blanking on his name that wrote um, Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz novels.
L. Frank Baum.
L. Frank Baum. It's the complete L. Frank Baum uh, Baum Wizard of Oz, because like after the 10th or 13th book, he died, and there have been like 40 novels, 40 official Oz novels.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, something crazy, like, if not more than that. I could
Oh
be
man, I'm
I could be
scrolling through
underselling
his
that.
page now, and under political it says racial views, and fuck, I don't want to read anymore.
Oh, there's some of
Oh,
that in there.
because of his assertion that the safety of white settlers depended on the wholesale genocide of American Indians.
Yeah, there was a lot of problematic stuff. Uh, yeah, apparently, Laura Ingalls Wilder has some of the same beliefs that the Indians are just savages, and yeah, yeah, the Injuns are just savages.
Yikes. Oh,
Yep.
that guy's got a fucking monocle in this picture, no wonder. Anyway, I brought up Altered Carbon because this fucking blew my mind. All right, the dude Richard K. Morgan is a transphobe, and that fucking blows my mind that the guy has created a universe in which like your meat suit is utterly interchangeable with like your consciousness, but the dude is still a transphobe. Like it just shit
Wow.
blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's like he was so close to like having it like right there,
Right.
just so close.
Well, I mean, look at Joss Whedon. He
Yeah,
was held up as this
feminist
feminist
dude.
icon for writing such strong, amazing female characters. I mean, that was his jam. And then it turns out he was a shitty person to a lot of women.
Yep. There have been rumors about that for a long time, though.
They're starting to play out a lot more.
Yeah, well, turns out, like when you fire the siphon. Not that I want to depart from Joss Whedon being a shitbag very far, but is this Snyder Cut thing? What's going to happen with the Snyder Cut thing, Tony?
I don't know. I was never down for it. Like,
I read something that indicated that it is like drastically different.
yeah.
And I don't know how that could possibly be.
What did they say? Something like 70%.
70%? That's a different movie.
Okay, 70%
Oh,
of the Justice League that we saw
guess I should let you finish.
was shot by Joss Whedon. Was new footage created by Joss Whedon. Was not things that Zack Snyder shot for the movie. But he had enough movie that there was a working Snyder cut before they went back and shot any new footage. But they're adding like they keep announcing they've added characters like Martian Manhunter's in it.
What?
Yeah. Supposedly Green Lantern's going to be in it.
This is getting very complex. I mean, I'm going to see it.
I'm going to see it too. So I was never like, okay, if I had the opportunity to see it, I would have seen it. When it comes on, I will watch it. But I was never one of those guys banging the drum for release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
the movie was fine. It was fine.
Not good.
No, but it was fine.
But it was on the trajectory of the DC universe.
Turns out more than we knew.
Yeah, like
especially after Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, it just feels like it was on the expected trajectory of movies.
Right.
Like the aberration that was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I don't understand how people are passionate about this.
I know people that are.
I don't get it.
I'm like, I'll see it. I'm questioning whether or not I'm going to rewatch the first one shortly before. Like I'm thinking about rewatching the first one within the next week or two, just to.
I watched it, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
I did rewatch it because fucking HBO Max.
Right. Well,
I had to get it for this fucking Wonder Woman, and now I can't stop watching bad movies.
Yeah.
You just put it on while you're working, and then it's there, and it's like, oh, I don't want to watch that, so I gotta work.
They do have the Batman animated series. I think Superman animated series also.
Yeah, if I get sucked on. Listen, I'm in 4th season of Warehouse 13 right now.
Oh, so. What are you doing to yourself? Jesus, I tapped out of that one.
I liked Warehouse 13.
I couldn't make it past, I think, the 2nd season. It was just a little bit too cheeseball.
It's very cheeseball.
Yeah.
And then they fucking brought on Aaron Ashmore, and you know how much I hate Aaron Ashmore. I fucking hate that guy. Personally hate him.
I'm blanking on who that is.
As soon as you pull it up, you're gonna Jimmy Olsen from Smallville.
Oh yeah.
That fucking guy. And then he was Iceman and X-Men, or his brother was him. I can't remember. Like
one of them.
One of them. He was in Milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got an extensive cinematic history with this guy.
Yeah.
How much I fucking hate him and his brother.
His brother's actually a better actor.
I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, his brother was the one in the X-Men movies.
Well,
he was in Smallville. The Jimmy Olsen was in Smallville. He was in the Warehouse 13. Mm-hmm. Sean Ashmore, his brother, was in the X-Men movies. He was in Following. Apparently, he was in Smallville also.
Oh, he was in The Boys. Sean Ashmore was in The Boys.
Yes. Yeah, he was a lamplighter.
Yep.
No, apparently. Wait a minute.
God, I hate this
Or
guy.
was he? He was. He was in a couple of episodes of Smallville as a completely different character.
Sure.
All right. Uh, yeah, I keep trying to circle this back around to the movie.
Yeah, but it's hard.
It's tough. I mean, we've talked about the best parts of it, the acting. The story was the story kept moving.
The story kept moving.
There were a few of the shots that actually I found pretty clever. Just the imagery of it looks pretty good. But I think that's also the nature of building tension for the heist movie. You do a couple of odd angles to throw people's perceptions off, which creates that anxiety while you're watching it.
This guy has a personal quote. My brother and I have been in auditions where they said to our agents, we like them both, so we're just going to flip a coin. Fuck. God, I hate both of these two.
Jesus.
I can't. I gotta shut that down. Shut that down.
Go down the Ashmore hole.
Fuck the Ashmore hole. Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I just don't have a lot to say about the movie. It was good. I enjoyed it. Ian McKellen had that sick mustache the whole time.
He did. He pulled off smarmy really well too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was not subtle about his playing of Helen Mirren's character. He was a lot better at it during his day job.
Mm-hmm.
Like his day job grift felt more natural.
Yep.
He kind of overplayed it a little bit when he was doing the romantic grift. Like he didn't know exactly how to talk to a woman.
Yeah, that whole, which does feel about right. I would probably never ask Ian McKellen how to initiate sex with a woman. I would probably never ask him for advice on that.
He'd probably have great advice. I just have a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling he'd be just like, yeah, you're not Ian McKellen enough to do that.
Yeah. Well, here's what you do. You pull out your wizard staff from Lord of the Rings.
Not
oh,
that
you don't.
one.
You don't have one.
Right.
Oh, well. Sorry.
Sorry, that's where my advice ends.
Yeah. Sorry.
All those girls at the cons who didn't realize what they were barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
Kept asking to see my wizard staff. I figured,
Yeah.
You straight guys must all have them because that's what they want to see.
The Legion of Nerdesses. Yep.
Yeah. Also, don't question their fandom. Turns out they like it when you don't question the fact that they like the same things that you do.
Yeah. Just enjoy it, man.
Yeah. Oh, good. We could go to a movie and I wouldn't have to explain everything to you. It's not that bad. That part's not bad. It's more sometimes for us, it's toning Holden down when he gets some Easter egg and goes ballistic about it, just because he's so amped up and very loud all the time. So no spoilers, but we watched the WandaVision last week.
The $4 billion episode.
Yeah, that's the one. We Erin just caught up with it. Like, she hadn't been watching it, and I'm like, you would really like this show. And she watched one episode. Like, she had an hour and 15-minute long break during her school day. So hey, I'm just gonna try this. Go ahead. Well, she watched two of them, and then like she stopped it, and I could see her. She's doing the math. Like, I need to get signed into class, and I have to do something before class. But this episode could be like 25 minutes long. I have like 23 minutes. It's like, just wait. Watch the whole episode at once.
Uh-huh.
So Holden started watching this past week's episode before us. The other three of us started watching it. So he joins in, and we watch to the end, and that ending happens. He is so loud and over the top. And Julie's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't understand the reference to what is happening right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll explain it to you as soon as my eardrums reconnect from the volume of boom that just happened. Like, sometimes he gets so excited, it's like, okay, you need to stop, because we need to explain why you're so excited to Mom, who literally has about a fuck and a half to give at this point about most of this nerd shit.
Yeah. Someone who didn't watch the 43 ancillary movies to support this minor thing that you're super excited about.
Also, every YouTube video that speculate. I feel bad, but I know like most of the time it's true. He'll text me with some, oh, I've got a theory. Okay, that means you just watched a YouTube video that told you this might be a thing. Well, oh, come on. It's also super frustrating when he'll point out the reference to something that he hasn't seen the original. Like, he watched a YouTube video about it. It's like, where are you getting this information? Because I know you didn't see that movie, watch that TV show, read that comic book. What? Where are you getting this bit of insight you're trying to put out into the world? Oh, YouTube. YouTube is the Cliff's Notes for understanding pop culture references anymore.
I did watch. Part A of this comment is, I really hate those fucking YouTube breakdown videos. For some reason, in my Google news feed, like Avatar: The Last Airbender is always a news article heading for something. Mm-hmm. And it's always some bullshit link to, well, here's the real breakdown of Katara's powers. It's like, why the fuck would I want to watch that? I'm almost 40. What the, like, that is irrelevant. Her power breakdown is like not what's interesting about Katara in the slightest.
No.
But B, I did watch someone do a breakdown of like the difference between why the first Avengers movie worked and why Justice League didn't work, and like the pivotal scene between the two that really made or broke up the movies. And like the first maybe 5-10 minutes of it is just like a side-by-side comparison about how they're the exact same fucking movie. There's a cube. Someone's coming to Earth. There are aliens. It's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I like how Honest Trailers breaks down movies like that quite frequently, and to wonderful effect.
Yeah, I like the I like surface level analysis, but as soon as it gets into deep nerd shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
I read some comprehensive list of all the like comic book references in WandaVision, and it's like, fuck,
Yeah,
people are fucking nerds.
it's really crazy.
Like almost every number you ever see is an issue number with some reference to some other bullshit comic. It's like, fucking come on.
Yeah.
We're in deep, boys.
Well, that's the way the culture is. Like I saw a really good thing the other day, and it was a picture of a young female cosplayer, and this was she was cosplaying as an X-wing pilot in 1977. This is like it's such a cool story because it's like guys, think about this for a minute. There were no trailers we could watch on YouTube and pause and get references to these costumes and such. Like she legitimately had to go to the movie and enjoy it, go back to the movie and realize she wants to cosplay it, and probably go back another time with a notebook and flashlight taking notes while she's watching the movie. Like that's the level of nerddom we had. Like that was the only way you could do some of that stuff that people just are doing now all the time. Like Holden pointed out something about it's like, oh, all these things now where they're doing all this, putting all these references in and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's because nobody cared before. We couldn't just stop and rewind it and pause it and read the screen and like that just wasn't a thing we could do. So nobody tried to put that stuff in there.
Yeah, Holden, I remember a time in the before times when you were young, when the credits started, the movie was over, and then you could leave.
Yep.
And now that's not a thing anymore. Now the movie just can't end.
No, there are times when I'm watching something on Netflix now, like if I watch a movie, like I fucking did it watching this movie just because I was curious, because like they ended it in a way that nothing else is going to pop up like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but like they totally could have done that scene with him in the home as as an after credits sequence. We could have dropped a line in the Helen Mirren ending portion of the ending where she's just like, yeah, he's not gonna hurt anyone from now on. And then like mid credits, you have the scene where he's in the hospital. Like that would have been like, they could have gotten away with doing that. Not that they would have in a movie like this. But I still jumped ahead in that just to see if there was any additional footage.
Because I know where you've been for the last hour. Did you see that they fired Gina Carano?
I did not. Well, she's been
wasn't the transphobia, it was the
things.
Anti-Semitism that got her.
You know what? That's pissed off the wrong people. She's been saying enough shitty things for long enough that something needed to be done.
Yeah, no, it is too late as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this last thing almost feels like specifically a middle finger right back to Disney. Because you have to imagine, after some of the things she's said and done over the past couple of months, like there have been a lot of conversations. And a lot of conversations with her and her manager, whomever. This last one just feels like a big fuck you to all that. Like, yeah, not only am I going to not shut up, but here's what else I'm going to say.
Good.
Yeah. It's a shame that she's such a shitty person.
Yep. That sucks.
Yep.
Why do you have to suck so bad? Her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Maybe missed a few groups there.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Well, let's see what they do with the character and maybe get somebody else in there to play the role.
Trans Jew.
Okay.
Really, fuck you.
Yeah. As or you just recast someone very similar to Gina Carano as Cara Dune, but then you give Cara Dune a sidekick that is a trans Jew, transgender Jew. Just to be clear, I don't know that you'd necessarily call it being a trans Jew. I think that's converted.
Yeah.
But no, what I was going to say was that they have a character, like a sidekick character that's a trans Jew, and the name is literally like Gina Seasucks.
Just make it as asininely petty as possible.
Just really, really bad.
Grind it in.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't have much else to talk about here.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's make this a shorter
Shorty.
one. Make up for that almost 4-hour long episode for 500.
Ugh. I do not remember the last 2.5 hours of that.
Well, the last hour and a half of it exists in audio and it's posted on the website. The last hour was just me and you on here, and
just bullshitting.
Yeah, it was just us bullshitting. That didn't record at all. So
that's probably for the best.
Yeah, it probably is.
Who the fuck knows what I said during that?
Most of it's probably just such a deep, like such deep inside stuff that like half of it's probably just nonsense to anyone listening outside of this.
Oh, perfect. Good.
Aside from the fact that we were both pretty drunk, and I know at the end of 500, I kind of listened back to it I didn't listen through the whole thing. Spoiler, I don't edit that carefully. This platform is actually really good. We've got really good sound quality coming off of it, especially now that I've got a dedicated headset that's plugged in instead of the wireless. We were both talking pretty slow. like noticeably speaking slower. I was listening back and it was like, oh, listen how drunk Adam is, and why am I talking so slow?
Listen, that's probably the most continuous talking I've done in a year.
Yeah.
Like,
and when you talk that much, you need to drink. You got to keep things lubricated.
Yeah, yep. Like always lube up. Never have too much lube.
No,
that's not true. You can't have too much.
You need a little bit of leverage, friction and leverage.
We were both talking real slow.
It was really slow. Yeah.
That's really fucking funny.
Oh. right.
All right.
What?
The devil
the devil
always.
all the time.
Yeah, there it is. Devil all
The
the
devil
time.
all the time. Next week we'll talk about the devil all the time, and we may or may not have a couple other faces on the feed. They don't keep bailing on us.
Yeah, Anna should be out for a couple weeks, I think.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Yeah, I don't think we've got Anna for a couple of weeks, but we've definitely not seen the last of her.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll be back.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.